Hello and welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the Valentine's Day, February 14th daily outlook. Now this is not necessarily a love outlook. It's still a general outlook for your day. But it is Valentine's Day. So for some of you, you may be doing something with your lover or your sweetheart. But not everybody celebrates Valentine's Day, and there's a lot of people out there who are just really not even into all of that. You know, they're like about their careers. Everybody right now, to me, honestly, it's like, yes, a lot of people want to know about certain twin flame relationships and soulmate connections, but a lot of my collective are trying to, you know, get busy with careers and, you know, creative endeavors and projects and things like that. A lot of people are much more thinking about society and their place in society and really like thinking about what they want to give back and, you know, what mark they want to leave. So it's quite interesting. That's how the readings have been going lately. But this is going to be for Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, my earth signs. And my romance angel deck is back for Valentine's Day. And I think I'm going to start using it again for a while. I did miss it very much. So Taurus, you have for the 14th, calling in your soulmate. Virgo, you have let your friends help you. Let's move these down a little bit. And then we have for Capricorn, worth waiting for. All right. So those are your messages for today. Interesting. You can fast forward to the timestamp if you want to. We're looking at Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn for 14th. I do apologize for the late release. I had a lot of stuff going on in my building today. It's like, it was crazy, and it was really, really loud. All right. Let's get right into it. All right, Taurus, you have 6 of Swords and 9 of Swords. Virgo, yours is 7 of Cups and the Lovers. And Capricorn, you have an 8 of Swords and the Hierophant. Interesting. All right, guys, at the bottom of the deck for you, you have 2 of Wands. So 2 of Wands is a real feeling for all earth signs on the 14th that, you know, you're ready to move forward with a project. This is exactly kind of what I was talking about a minute ago. It's like a lot of my readings are talking about sort of moving on with projects or career. 2 of Wands is definitely about sort of the world is your oyster and you're ready to sort of move ahead with whatever endeavor or passion that you are sort of enthralled with right now or embroiled in right now, right? If you're doing something very creative, or if you have a project that you're trying to achieve, or if you have some kind of you know, some kind of objective in your life that you're trying to achieve, whether it is at work or in art or in being creatively communicating art, maybe you're a performer, whatever your vision for your life is and where your heart draws you. 2 of Wands talks about you really sort of being progressive in that, you know, ready to fight for that, and that is your focus, right? It's Mars and Aries energy, so, you know, you can imagine. All right, so Taurus, let's get right into your reading. We have calling in your soulmate and 6 of Swords and 9 of Swords. Well, calling in your soulmate is definitely beautiful for today, right? I mean, it's all about, you know, maybe some of you are already with someone and you're like giving them a call today. You're saying, look, let's get together. You know, whatever the case may be, it's like your visualizations and your ideas about, you know, love are manifesting. They're coming in for you. And so whether that is a meeting or a nice time with someone you already have, or if you may be meeting somebody new, right? So it's a nice feeling. 6 of Swords and 9 of Swords, though. It's interesting. 6 of Swords is about moving away. So again, it could be that for some of you, you may be traveling, right? You may be traveling and meeting with someone, or that person may be traveling and meeting you, right, as you're calling them in. 6 of Swords can often indicate like actual movement, you know, traveling or visiting another land, or actually moving, like if you move home or something like that. Some of you may be dealing with that. Could be because 9 of Swords is a real feeling of anxiety. So for some of you, you may be traveling. That's the feeling I have. You might be traveling to go visit somebody, or you may be traveling away from something right now, right? You could be traveling away from family towards your soulmate. In any case, it is a difficult situation because you have 9 of Swords. So there's definitely some feeling of sadness here and anxiety, right? A real feeling of like, oh, what have I done, or what do I, how am I going to face what I have to do, right? It's a real, 9 of Swords is definitely the feeling of being sort of alone in a lot of, I would say, sad feelings, right? Definitely, those type of feelings that cause anxiety, guilt, regret, unsurety, especially if you've either done something or have to do something that really hurts your heart. And so with this traveling here, the 6 of Swords, and calling in your soulmate, it's interesting that you will feel like this. So it may be a day where you're caught between family and a lover or something like that, and you're having to make a decision, and you may actually be traveling today. Remember, this is just a general outlook. All right, let's move on. So a general outlook, short and sweet for the day. So, by the way, it may not resonate with you. If it doesn't, just let it go. It's not for you. This one is for Virgo. Let your friends help you today. So some of you are probably going to be meeting with friends today, having a chat, maybe talking about a relationship. It's funny because you have 7 of Cups, and that does indicate a real fairy tale idea about a relationship. Sometimes it can be unrealistic, though. Virgo, watch out with that, because sometimes 7 of Cups, you can see he's looking up in the sky at all these cups, and a lot of them it's just sort of like over the top desires, right? And that can indicate sort of having your head in a fantasy land, or having your head up in the clouds in a lot of ways, imagining something to be one way that it just simply isn't. It can be the card for wishful thinking, right? A lot of times it's the card for wishful thinking. But in any case, it can also be for delusional. In some instances, it can be, even having delusions about something. But I think here it's just more or less you're feeling like Virgo, you're feeling excited about a particular love connection, but you may not be very practical or grounded about it right now, right? And so you need your friends to help you. It's definitely about a love connection because you have the Lover's card there. So for some of you, maybe letting your friends help you could help you with whatever disunion is. It could be that you may be having a little bit of difficult time right now with your connection, right? Or, and I only say that because letting your friends help you, and also 7 of Cups does tend to indicate that you aren't seeing the relationship for what it really is, right? There's an aspect to this energy of not being realistic. And so when I see the Lover's card next to it, it makes me I definitely feel for you, Virgo, that some of you are dealing with a relationship that, is not quite where it should be, and of course, naturally, there's an issue there, right? Whether it's come to the surface yet or not, or with the tensions there yet or not. But in any case, you have let your friends help you. And I think today is the day when that's going to be a case. For some of you who are resonating with this reading, you're going to be going out with friends and talking with them about advice and, what you should do about the situation. Worth waiting for, Capricorn, 8 of Swords, and the Hierophant. So for some of you, it's interesting because you have a Hierophant. Worth waiting for does indicate a high level of commitment, because waiting for something involves commitment, right? And so, of course, once it arrives, worth waiting for, when something finally comes into your life that comes in at the right time that you've been waiting for it to come in at the right time, you are absolutely sort of feeling like spiritually blessed, committed to that thing, of course. And all of those things are associated with the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the card for Taurus, your sister sign. So, and then 8 of Swords is there. Now, that's the card for really sort of being very isolated by your own way of thinking. It's a very toxic energy, right? So it's interesting that this will come into the spread. It could be that you were waiting for somebody to get out of this to get out of this energy, right? Or it could very well, I don't know, for some of you, if you are resonating with that, worth waiting for in that card of commitment, right? So today you're doing something perhaps that involves, redoubling your commitment. Yet you have this energy here. It could be that you may be recommitting yourself to help this individual in some way. Because the Eight of Swords individual is somebody who's very sort of constricted by their own limited way of thinking. They're unable to make decisions. They're unable to take responsibility for their decisions. They feel as though they know they're unable to do these things, but they don't necessarily take responsibility for it. They tend to blame everybody else for it. They don't realize that the only thing they have to do is look within and sort of stop blaming the rest of the world. So this is it can be a very toxic energy, and somebody who puts up a lot of boundaries around themselves by the way that they act. So it's interesting that you would have worth waiting for. Some of you may be dealing with somebody like this, and you may be feeling that it's worth sort of dealing with them. Maybe they're getting help for it, or maybe you guys are working through it, or whatever the case may be. But it's a strange energy here in the sense that if you're resonating with this Capricorn, you're putting up with a lot, and it could just be that today is a day where you're kind of saying, you may be talking with them, or whatever the case may be, but for whatever reason, you're still committed. You're still committed to that. And it could be that your person may be also committing to sort of changing or to sort of coming out of this attitude, right? But you'll see, today will be a pretty interesting day for Capricorns who are resonating with this energy. And I wouldn't be surprised if it would involve somebody going perhaps to therapy or counseling, or agreeing to go to therapy or counseling today. All right, guys, that's it. It's your daily outlook for Earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you enjoyed having the Romance Angel cards back. But for right now, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful February 14th or Valentine's Day if you're with a lover. And for right now, I'll see you tomorrow for your daily outlook. Bye-bye now.